Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today a little bit different. I wanted to do a Q&A with everyone. So I did post out on my Instagram, hey, ask me some questions regarding collecting, of course, and I will answer them in a video. So here is that video. So stay tuned as we go over your guys' questions, my answers, and as always, I love your guys' input. So let me know what you think. All right, so one of the main questions I got asked many times over was, what is my favorite Disney limited edition doll? And that would be this gal right here, the Rags Snow White. She is and forever will be my absolute favorite doll in my collection. If I could only pick one and the rest had to go, that would be her. So that is my must-have. That is the one that I will forever treasure and the one that I recommend to everybody because she's just absolutely amazing and my number one top limited edition doll that I own. Okay, another question I got asked multiple times, but in different ways, was any news on upcoming dolls or any pictures that I can share? So right now, of course, the only dolls that we know are coming are the Midnight Masquerade single releases. They already did a set release on D23 when they released all that stuff on Shop Disney, or excuse me, Disney Store. They did change the name. And then they also had them on display at D23. We also know there's a general release Ariel coming. I will not share pictures simply because I do know and I'm good friends with a lot of the designers from multiple companies, honestly. And I've been told many times that when they see their hard work leaked before it's like general knowledge, common knowledge, it is kind of a slap in their face for all that hard work, especially when they're not stock photos. So yeah, there are dolls coming. Those are the ones we know for sure are coming. The rest are all rumored till, it's a fact. So we'll see what happens. But yes, that is I got that question a lot. Do I have any tips on new dolls coming? So things like the holiday doll, there's rumors going around. We don't know exactly who it's going to be, but if it is true, I think that the doll that they're talking about could end up being pretty cool. I'm hoping it's the snowball scene dress. We'll see if that gives you any hints right there. But otherwise, yeah. So we know that the general release Ariel looks very similar to the D23 Ariel. Just the bodice portion is a little different. She doesn't have accessories. And of course, we know exactly what the Midnight Masquerade dolls look like. So that is what I have knowledge-wise for any upcoming releases from Disney. Another one that I got asked multiple times, I was kind of surprised about, was if I have any shelf recommendations. I wish I did, because as you can see, my dolls are literally all just stacked on top of each other, which I'm going to answer another question in this same video is, how are the dolls doing at the bottom of my stack? And from what I can tell, I just hit one of my dolls. Dawn of the Dance Laguna just got whacked in the head. They are actually doing okay on the bottom. But for shelves, I do apologize. I do not have a recommendation. I wish I did because I would buy them for myself. But the way that my room is set up, I have a very steeply slanted ceiling. As you can see there, it goes up that way. And to get shelves that would fit as many as I need to across and up and down, nothing really hit that mark. But I know IKEA does sell quite a few really, really good quality shelves as long as you're handy and can put things together yourself. Other than that, I do apologize. I don't have any specific recommendations. Okay, the next question I got was best underrated LE doll. I have two that I think are pretty underrated. First one being the live action Alice in Wonderland doll, or Alice with the Looking Glass. I can't remember which one movie it was. She is right down here. I have all my live actions stacked over here. Everything about that doll is absolutely amazing. The embroidery, the fabrics used, the face mold's fantastic. A very slept on doll. Everyone complains because the little shoulder plate that she has is plastic, but doing that in metal would have driven that price up even higher than it was. But the embroidery alone is just phenomenal. The other one is a Sergeant Calhoun limited edition doll from Wreck-It Ralph. I'll put a picture in here of her. I don't think a lot of people really know about her, or if they do, they just kind of look over her because she's not in a big poofy princess gown. But she's a phenomenal doll, and she's only limited, I think, of 1,000. So I do have her. I'm looking at her. My Freak de Chic Draculaura is sitting on top of her box at the moment, but she is a phenomenally well done doll. So those would be my two. Okay, another question I got asked a few times in similar patterns was, what would my dream Disney doll look like that does not exist yet? So that would be, there's two. The Sparkle Dress Ariel. I know we're getting like a Mattel collector version of that doll, but 17-inch, I would love to see her in that, just of course gussied up a little bit. And then the Charlotte in the ball gown from the Princess and the Frog. I think that would just be a really, really well done doll. I'm sure if they ever do one, it'll be a D23 exclusive, and so we'll see what happens there. But those two would be my absolute dream dolls, and I would design them, because that was another one, on how would I design them? As movie accurate as possible, but as gussied up without overdoing it. So I guess those would be my two. All right, another question I got asked a few times in a few different ways was, what is the one doll that got me collecting? When did I collecting, and what inspired me? So the doll that got me into collecting is right here. We had bought her for my daughter. I did a whole video on this too, so I'll see if I can put an info card or a link. We bought her for my daughter, and not knowing what we know now, we put her in a box in our closet because she was only like 2, I think, at the time. And we wanted to save them for when she's a little bit older. Well, when we opened up that box years later, they had been crushed. So I went looking for a replacement, and that's how I found the limited edition 17-inch dolls, because I kept typing in Cinderella collector doll, and I kept getting the Disney 17-inch one. So I was like, why is this $120? Well, then I went on YouTube. This was back in 2018, and found a few people who were reviewing the dolls, and I was like, well, these are amazing. The rest is history. So the limited edition 17-inch Cinderella doll was the first one I ordered. She was the first one that arrived. I ordered them in the same week. The seller that I got the 17-inch live action Cinderella from apparently lost the doll, so she refunded me. I found another seller, and like I said, rest is history. But my inspiration was, I just fell in love with them. Simple as that. Okay, another question I got asked in very similar forms a few times over was my favorite face mold or the best face card I got. As like, face card, oh, face mold. Like, look, what doll serves. And that would have to be hands down the limited edition of Vanessa, whether it be the D23 version, which is right here, or the store version, which is right over there on my aerial shelf. They have the same face mold. That doll is absolutely amazing. I will put a closer up photo of her right here so you guys can see. That face mold is best one ever. Like, nothing. I'm like looking around at all my dolls, and the rest of them are just this serene, pretty, relaxed princess face. And that one, she's like, she's the best. So hands down, Vanessa limited edition doll. Another question I got asked was, do I collect anything that's not Disney? Well, yes, I collect Monster High. Monster High is another big collection of mine. I am looking down at a whole row of them over here, a whole table full of them over here. You can see them kind of stacked around. I've got all of my Creep Productions in front of me. I have boxed ones over here in a stack because I need to get, organized. And then all my G3 are down here. And then I've got some more. You can actually kind of see some of them lined up right there, and the real dramas are there. I also collect Swarovski crystal. I have a decent sized collection. A few of you I have shown because you've asked. But those are pieces that I've gotten over the years, either as gifts or hand-me-downs from my grandparents or great-grandparents, or ones that I found on the store that I just thought were really, really cool. I also have a very large orchid collection. I love growing orchids. I've been growing them since 2000, and I actually have a whole YouTube channel on that. It's not a very big channel, but I'll let you guys find it if you're interested. I'm not going to link it because that one is just like me showing plants, and to me it's boring, but some people like it apparently. Other than that, that's about it. So with having 3 kids and normal day-to-day life, it's kind of hard to really collect anything else, especially when the bulk of my collection is expensive. So yeah, mainly Disney, but a handful of other things. Okay, another one I got asked a lot was, what are my Grail dolls? Well, a year ago, my Grail list got shorter. Much shorter. I was actively looking for the Alice and Mad Hatter Platinum set. Had been for years trying to find a good deal, a good condition one. And the most generous and kind person in the world, who I still don't know who they are, but they're a friend of a friend, reached out and said, hey, I've got a set and I would like you to have it. So they sent it to me as a gift, and to this day I'm looking straight at it. All my platinum sets are on my other wall. It is probably one of my absolute favorite sets. My favorite set is the Aurora and Prince Philip set, but that is a very close second. Just a phenomenal phenomenal set, and I will forever treasure it just because of the magnitude of that gift and just how, I mean, I keep staring at it, just how amazing that set really is. So that knocked my Grail Disney doll list down by one. My only other one that is a Grail for Disney would be the D23 2017 Old Hag that goes with the D23 Snow White. Monster High wise, I would love to get Greta. Greta is one of my all-time favorites. I had her in my cart on release day trying to check out, and whoosh, she was sold out, so I didn't get her. And I would like to get my the Beetlejuice set again. I did have it, but that day made me so angry that 2 days or 3 days later I sold it for retail, and I'm kicking myself ever since. So I'd like to get that set back too, but I'd love to get Greta one day. Greta is just an absolutely phenomenal doll. So those are my three. Other than that, there's a few dolls I'd like to get eventually down the road. Not Disney LE wise. I have all the old ones that I want. But there's just some older Monster High dolls I'd like to get. But the top two would be Greta and the Beetlejuice set, and of course the Old Hag for the Disney line. Another question I got asked quite a few times too, and I have a whole video on this as well, was, are there any dolls I regret buying? Yes, absolutely. I think we all have buyer's remorse on some things in our collection. I have offloaded almost all of the ones that I regretted buying. Those top ones would have been most of the classic dolls, because I don't need classic dolls. That's why I really don't collect the designer line anymore either. My 11-inch dolls are mainly Monster High at this point, plus a handful of collector Barbies and a few of the UPC Princess line, the Ultimate Princess Celebration. I kept a few of those. I have all of the Midnight Masquerade dolls for the princesses, and I have all the premiere dolls for the princesses, but I only kept a handful of the villain Midnight Masquerades because most of those were just FOMO, and I just was like, why did I buy these? I don't like them. So I only have, I think, 3 of those left. And then other than that, limited edition Disney doll wise, I don't have any that I regret. There are some that I got because, again, it was like a FOMO thing. One of those being the live action Mulan doll. She's okay. I forget about her. Literally, she's way up there in the corner. I forget about her all the time. And that's because she is kind of tucked behind a couple of things. And then any doll that's really covered up, which, like the Regal Elsa and Regal Elsa and Prologue Anna, I forget about them all the time because they are literally at the bottom of my stacks because they're like some of my least favorites. But they aren't necessarily regrets, just I got them to complete the Frozen line. Would I buy them again if I didn't have them now? Probably not. Simply because, again, that was back in my FOMO days, and I thought I had to have every Frozen doll they made. Well, I'm glad I do have a complete Frozen set minus the Harrods dolls. I don't, or the, I guess Saks Fifth Avenue did a set too. But where they, because I have the Saks Fifth Avenue separate dolls for Anna and Elsa. I don't have the set where there's like one of two. I didn't get that either because I'm not going to spend $30,000 on dolls. Oh my gosh. To those who can, more power to you. Not my thing. But other than that, I don't have any regrets on my limited edition dolls. The 17-inch ones. So yes, I think we all do. I think for everybody's going to be a little different. It just kind of depends on where you at when you bought something and then how you feel about it later. I think our passions and joys and love of things is always ever evolving. But the ones that really ring true with you are always going to stay. Like my Snow White dolls will forever be my favorites. You know, my Ariel dolls will, I mean, come on, it's Ariel. And everything else I have, it just brings me so much joy that it's hard to have regrets on it. I may have like some, oh, I cannot believe I spent $400 on a Saks Fifth Avenue doll. You know, that might kind of be like, but at the end of the day, I'm happy I did because I love them. So, you know, one of those things. Another one I got asked a lot was, how do I balance financial responsibilities and my collection? Budgeting. I allot myself a budget every month, just in case something releases that month, or there's something like Mattel releasing, because you know how they are, they're dropping stuff left and right. You pretty much have to have a second job in order to keep up with Mattel's releases. Slow down, please. Give our wallets a rest, Mattel. Disney, I like it. They spread it out a little bit more, but sometimes we go through dry spells where there's nothing. So that's kind of annoying too. So it's like we can't find that happy medium where, They kind of keep us going, but don't wear out our wallet and wear out our nerves. But I basically, we look at what our bills are, how much we bring in. Once all those bills are taken care of, we look at what's left over. We put what we want to put in savings. We put, aside for things for like vacations, our safety net, so that we have the extra money there in case something unexpected comes up. And then we say, okay, what's left over? What do we want to do with it? And that's where my budget comes from. So I do get paid just a little bit from YouTube, not much. A lot of people are like, oh, he's got 13,000 subscribers now. He must make a ton of money on YouTube. What I make on YouTube in a month doesn't even cover the cost of one limited edition doll. So, and that's it is what it is. So, it really isn't much at all, especially now with the price that they are. It doesn't even come close to covering the cost of one of them. So I don't make that much on YouTube. People think, these people, I don't know how they do it, that have their livelihood as YouTube. You have to have like 500,000 plus subscribers. Otherwise, I don't understand how people do it. But hey, to those that do, congratulations. I'm glad you're able to do that. For me, I have had a full-time job since I was 22 outside of this. So that's my main income. This I do for fun. So whatever perks or benefits I get from it is just icing on the cake. But that will kind of come into play when it comes to my budget. So if I do need to dip in past what I already spend, if I get paid from YouTube that month, it helps cover that. So, because there are months I don't get paid from YouTube, because you have to meet a quota every month in order to get a paycheck. And if you don't hit that, you don't get paid. So they wrap it into the next following month, of course, so that it, goes towards that. But there have been months when I've not gotten paid. So it just kind of depends, especially when there's a D23 month. I know that I need to kind of start saving ahead for those so that I have the extra budget for those releases. Because as we all know, those dolls are not cheap and they always release a ton. So, because usually like one or two of those dolls is going to be my budget for the month, and not 5 or 6 like they've been doing. But yeah, so that's how I kind of balance that. We just look at what our priorities are, and then the extra after that is where my Disney budget comes from. Okay, another one I got asked was my favorite D23 doll. Now, I got asked multiple different versions of this question, and the other main one was, what was my favorite D23 2024 doll? My favorite D23 doll, hands down forever, is Giselle. She's up there above my Sac Snow White. Phenomenal doll. I'll put a picture of her here if you're not familiar with what she looks like. My buddy Charlie went and was able to pick up all of the 2022 dolls for me at retail, minus the Hercules set, which is fine. I really like that set. She's my favorite. She's absolutely stunning. Her dress is amazing. The details, embroidery work, gem work, everything on her is just, it's what we want. And she's perfect. My favorite 2024 D23 doll is the D23 Day Jane Porter doll from Tarzan. We've been begging for a Jane doll for years now. And just due to licensing issues and all that, we were finally able to push through. Jay and the team were able to get one that was available solely at Disneyland, which is kind of a bummer, but I was able to get one. And she is exquisite. I'll put a picture of her here as well. Just probably hands down my 2024 favorite. Absolutely. Another question I get asked a lot was, do I display my Ellie dolls together, or how do I display my collection? That's how. So this is my main doll wall. This is where the bulk of my limited edition 17-inch dolls are. I also am looking at my my frozen wall, I called it, but that's also the wall that has all of my platinum sets as well as my Saks Fifth Avenue dolls. That's in front of me. That's usually what I have my back to when I'm doing a video, because I use this wall as my backdrop. And then I do have some here, kind of some of my unboxed 17-inch dolls, as well as the platinum sets, the mini platinum sets from 2019. And then my collectors are over here as well. So mainly right now they're just stacked. I would love to find a different way to display them, but right now I just don't have that option. My room is only 12 by 8. So finding shelves that aren't too deep, but are long enough and have the right height has been kind of a pain. So right now this is how, and this is where. Hope that helps. Another one that I got asked was, how do I clean? Especially my D-Box dolls. I don't. Shh. My room is closed off, and I have a French door opening to my room. things get like a light layering of dusting on them, but I'm constantly doing videos on things and I'm constantly picking them up and moving them, that, when I do, I'll either comb out the hair if it looks a little ratty or got stuck on a hand as I was moving it, especially for my Monster High dolls. My boxes, on the other hand, I really should dust them. I'm looking at them now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually see dust. I really should get in here and dust. I would just use a feather duster though. I wouldn't do anything wild and crazy. They say you can do like the high setting on cool on a hair dryer, and you can use that and blow off the dust off of doll hair that's been deboxed. If I haven't washed it myself and it has its own crazy updo, I usually don't touch it because I don't want to mess it up. So, but no, that's a good reminder to me. So thank you for the people who asked that question, because I need to clean. It's so bad. Another one that I got asked a lot was, how many dolls do I own? Shh, I don't know. It was specifically Disney, Ellie and Disney Designer. I honestly don't know. I did do a video a while back, and I mean a while back, I mean like over a year ago, I believe, on how many do I have. And I don't remember what the number count was then, and I'm not going to recount now because I think I'll feel really, really guilty. But it is a lot. Last time I counted, if I remember correctly, between designer and limited edition 17-inch ones, it was over 140. At least, but I've gotten rid of some of the designer dolls. And that also included a few doubles that I had. I don't have doubles really anymore, except for of the ones that I really, really, really wanted like one in and one out of, which isn't very many anymore. Monster High, I have no clue. Hundreds. I don't know. I have a lot. It's one of those things where it's like, again, I think it's also because I'm in the plant world. You never ask somebody how many they have because no one wants to admit how many they actually have. And that means that they've spent that much money on them and they don't want to own up to that. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I really don't want to count because I think I'll throw up. All right. Another one I got asked a lot was, what character, needs more dolls? That's tough because right now, the way that it sits, most of the dolls only have, or characters, I guess you should say, only have 1 to maybe 3 outfit changes in a movie. And aside from like Belle, which I think they need to do the village dress still, which would be amazing, and the library dress, and Tiana, they've pretty much done all the outfits that these characters have in the movies. So to get more dolls would just be more of the same. It would be, like I said earlier, I'd love to see a Charlotte, but I do think like Tiana, I think she deserves a doll or two, more. Jasmine, we have plenty. Aurora, we have more than enough. Snow White, we have plenty. Or it's like, I don't really know that. I mean, yeah, I'd love to see another Giselle doll, but they'd have to pick from what? Because at that point she'd be a live action, because it'd have to be Amy Adams likeness, and they'd have to pick from one of those dresses, and I don't know that they really constitute a limited edition doll. I don't know. That's a really, really good question. I'd love to see a Tiana and Naveen platinum set in 17-inch. I think that'd be great. But other than that, like, a Flynn Rider and Rapunzel platinum set would be a phenomenal set. But I don't know what they do unless they went movie accurate again on her purple dress and him in his like riding outfit. I don't know. So that's a tough one because they've already done her in the purple dress, her in her wedding dress, and then they did her concept art one for her anniversary. So it's like that's a tough one to answer. I'm not really sure. A bridal line and designer would be amazing though. I'd take all the princesses in that. Okay, the next one I got asked was, what Grail dolls live up to the hype? This is another kind of more personal question for each person. I think it would depend on what they're expecting, and what it took to get them there. So pretty much any Grail I've gotten has lived up to the hype. The one thing I will say though, once you acquire that Grail, sometimes the excitement goes away because the hunt is now done. I don't remember which one it was now. I think it was Slave Jasmine, Red Jasmine. I wanted her for years and years and years and years. And then finally I got an opportunity presented to me to purchase her at a price that was still a lot, but way less. Like we're talking thousands of dollars less than what she's going for now. And I loved her, but I remember now, like once I put her up and I looked at her, I was like, this is a stunning doll, but the hunt's over. And I think part of that fun is the hunt. But so far, every doll, there've been a few dolls that I've gotten and I'm like, whoa, this is, ugh, that one right there. But I wasn't like, she wasn't a Grail for me, but she certainly did not live up to my expectations. Other than that, though, there haven't been any Grails that have disappointed me. So I don't know if that really answers your question or not, but I do think this is a very personal question because for me, it's been different every time. Sometimes it's relief more so than enjoyment when I actually get it and get it at a good deal. But yeah, that's kind of a convoluted roundabout, whatever you want to say, answer. But I hope that answers that question because I did get a lot of people asking that. Okay, and the final one that I got asked a ton, and it is the one I will end on, is what was my absolute favorite D23 doll that I personally own? Right there. This one. Yes. Red Jasmine. Hands down. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my Ariel and Vanessa. I love my D23 Snow. I love my other D23 dolls that I have, but that doll, like I said, she was a Grail forever and so long. She lived up to the hype. Like I said, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, the hunt's over, but I still am just in awe of that doll. Even though mine has like multiple skin tones, whatever. It's very strange. She is stunning beyond reason. And so that is my absolute favorite doll from the D23 lineup. Of course, my favorite doll is Rag Snow. So yeah, that is the final question that I'm going to answer because this is going to be a long enough video, but this was fun. I may do another one down the road and see if I get different questions and see if I can give you guys some just some more insight into, what collecting is like for me and how it's been. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions regarding all of these questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to get back to them as soon as I possibly can. Otherwise, hope everybody's having an extra magical day and we will see you real soon.